Hello class. We are going to be doing some distribution. On this hill, we are going to be distributing trees across it using a mesh network. Let me show you how to do this really fast. It's actually pretty easy. Let's see, let me move around my workspace a little bit. So we have our hill here. We also have a few different items that we can distribute across the hill if we wanted to. We have a tree one. Let's just do that one real fast. All right, so I'm going to select tree one. Check it out. It is at 0, 0, 0. The rotation pivot is as well. This is important because it's going to be attaching to the surface, so if this was off, that offset would be translated and transferred over. So I have that selected. I'm going to go over here to Mesh Network. You could also go over here to do Create Mesh Network. I'm going to do it here. Create Mesh Network, boom. It is created. However, we need to attach the tree to the hill mesh. The way this is done, we can go over here to Distribute, and let's see, make my outliner a little bit larger so we can see. We're going to click the Distribute node, and we are going to take the hill. Oops, let me choose the mesh distribution type. And then we have the input mesh right here. So we need to middle mouse drag our hill over. Boom, just like that. Pretty easy, right? Oops, let me zoom in. All right, so there's a bunch of different options here. I almost exclusively use the scatter, but you know these others are worth exploring as well, depending on what kind of project you're working on and the behaviors that you're looking for. Once again, this is a very good animation tool. Anything that's keyable allows you to animate it. So let's see, let's increase our number to 100. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to activate the repro node. That allows us to distribute a bunch of different items in the same network across the mesh. So over here, if we click on the repro, we see that we have tree one here, and it says 0. So we can now we can move over other ones. So I'm going to middle mouse tree 2, and I'm going to middle mouse rock. Now we have to do one more thing in order to activate the randomness. We're going to go over to Mesh, and then we're going to select an ID node. The second we select this, it should distribute them. Yep, there we go. A little baby rock and the trees scattered all over. We can go over here to randomize. ID count 3, that represents the total items in the repro node, which comes out to 3. If we increase this, I don't think it does anything. Oh, it just randomizes. All right, so that's exactly what seed does too. It just randomizes these things. So that's actually pretty easy. I'm going to show you one more thing while we're here. I'm going to drop in a randomize node, and I'm going to apply that to the scale to these items, so it'll make it look a little bit more natural and a little less rigid. Okay, so we select our mesh network, and we'll have a selection of nodes here. We can just go to random, add random node. And what we're going to do here, we have uniform scale, absolute scale, we have position, we have rotation, and then we have scale in X, Y, and Z. There's a bunch of other items down here below, but I don't want to complicate things any further. But here, let's grab the X, and I'm just going to type in 10. Boom! Oh, that's crazy. All right, so we want uniform scale, and that number needs to be way lower. Let me try 2. Okay, let me just try 1. All right, they're still pretty large. Let's see. I'm going to go with 0.5. So I'm going to unclick absolute scale, because absolute scale was making them all randomized at the same amount. So, but now we have the randomness built in. So we could actually increase this if we wanted to. Still, let's knock it down. But either way, we have that there. If we wanted to change the rotation here, so let's rotation Y. That should make things just spin. But you see kind of what's happening because they're attached to the tangent of each given face. But either way, it's nice to know that these things are here. Once again, when you randomize things, they end up looking a lot more natural. All right, so we're going to do something a little bit more complicated here. Not too much, but we're going to distribute some trees and rocks on a hill. And the very top of the hill, though, we're not going to want to have selected and be part of the mesh. So while we could use selection sets to do this, I actually prefer just breaking the mesh into a couple of pieces. Sometimes it's just simply easier. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to grab the faces of the top of the hill that I don't want trees and rocks to be. That's where our houses will be. So I have that grabbed and selected. I can just go up here to Mesh Separate. And now it creates a group with those two in there. What I can do though here, I can select both of those. I can hit Shift P, which will unparent or ungroup them. So now they're actually separate meshes sitting there hanging out. I think I can delete the history. Let's see if that'll get rid of the inputs. Yep. Sometimes it's just nice to clean things up. You never know when something will get in the way. So we have 1 and we have 2. We have our tree 1 set up. Let me rename this. I'm going to call this one bottom. I'm going to call the other one top. So what we're going to essentially do is just make 2 networks. One which will be the bottom, and I'll do that with, let me select tree 1, tree 2, and the rock. And now I'm going to go up there to create mesh network. It's now selected and created. You see them underneath there. Go into wireframe, we can see it. I'm going to hit distribute node. Let me hit it again. There, it brings these up. I'm going to select mesh. I am going to choose the bottom from the outliner. Oops, let me do that again. So there we got that. Let's see, let's make 50. Now, in order to activate the repro here and the various items inside, we are going to go to Mash and we're going to go create an ID node. And this will activate the randomness of those items. So there we go. So that's created. Now we have our house and we have the top one. We will use those to create another network. So let me just select the house first. And now let's open up our distribute node for the next mesh network we created. Once again, we go over here to mesh, we go to scatter, we go to input mesh. What I'm going to do, I'm going to select top 1 and move it over in input mesh, and there are little houses on top. They're kind of big, so we're going to knock their number down. And we could always use a random node actually to modify the placement of those two if we wanted. Let's see. Let me knock this down to 3. All right, so there's our little houses up there on top. They're kind of floating a little bit. I think they probably need moved down a little bit so that the clipping wouldn't occur. But I think you guys get the idea. But just for the sake of it, let's go over here. We're going to select our first network, and we're just going to apply a randomized node to it. Let's go with uniform scale. Let me change things. Oh wow, you see how everything's kind of up in the air. Oh, that's all right. But either way, you see how you have a lot of different options to tweak things. We can probably do some spinning here using the rotations. But you kind of have to be kind of careful about those because they're going to change according to the tangency of each given face. But there's a lot of tools for you guys to play with, so I hope you have a little bit of fun. Any questions, let me know in class. Thank you.